Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I have got my whole crew here with me today, and we are back for another Friday night, fun night of crafting. So I'm super excited. Thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to kind of look down. I'd love to say hi to you guys and see who's in here with me. It looks like Suzette is in here, and Karen, Linda, hello. Kathy Berard, it's so good that you're in here. I hope you're doing well. I know you're a nurse, and so I'm praying for you and hoping that you're doing well. Mackie, hi Mackie. And Kat Craig is in here. Miss Kat, I have a card that I can't wait to show everybody with cards in the mail that you have sent me. So I'm just super excited. Rosemarie is in here. Hello, Denise. Denise was out my way, and I believe she visited like a super yummy barbecue joint. So Denise, I've told my husband about it, and we've got to check it out for sure. So it's just so much fun. Yolanda, Priscilla, thank you for joining us. Priscilla helps me as well as Amanda. And so they're both in here. Now you'll see Amanda typing typing comments back to you and answering questions, and it's going to come through as Brandy's cards, so you can see that I'm not actually typing. And so Amanda is helping me with that, as well as Priscilla. She'll be answering some questions too. So just let us know if you have any. So I'm really excited to be here. For those of you that are new to my channel, my name is Brandy Cox, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I love to craft, and I love to have fun, and I go rogue. I kind of do my own thing, and I just like to have fun with it. And my hope is to encourage you and to inspire you to do the same thing. Just kind of forget what the rules are. If you're using watercolor pencils, do you need water? Nah, maybe not sometimes. Just have fun with it and enjoy what you're doing. That's most important. So today is November 20th. I'm not sure where the time has gone, but it is going fast. We're quickly approaching Thanksgiving. And I know with everything that's going on, I hope that you're sending your cards to your family and friends, and that you're going to spend some time in your craft room. So if you're watching this video after November 20th and you're watching the replay. Hi Karen, I have a card here from you as well. Terry's in here, Cindy, Leanne, Vicky. Hi everybody, thank you for joining me tonight. Okay, so before I get started, I hope that you enjoyed my craft room tour. Oh my goodness, it was a long time in coming, and I was so excited to share that with you. It was so much fun. It was definitely a lot of work to pull it together. Not only cleaning my room, but also just kind of the preparations with, okay, where are the lights going to be so it's not dark, and how are they going to see you, and where's my, my video crew going to sit, and how are they going to be able to help me? So, we had a couple technical difficulties, but overall it went well, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. So if you haven't had the opportunity, make sure you go back to that video and like it, if you will, and also leave a comment. I would love for you to leave a comment. And on, on Christmas morning, I'm going to post a video of someone who I'm going to gift the cut and emboss machine to. Yeah, a new cut and emboss machine. I'm super excited. So that will be Christmas morning. I want to make somebody's Christmas extra special. And I'm super excited to say that I reached out to Stampin' Storage, and they love you as well. And so they are going to give us a couple extra surprises. That's right. So Christmas morning, I've got a couple gift certificates for Stampin' Storage. How cool is that? So I am so excited. Amanda's over there going, pick me. So really excited about that. And I am thrilled to, to make somebody's Christmas a little extra special. All right. Hi, Linda, Kat, and oh, it's so good to see all of you in here. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so I did see somebody say earlier, yes, Stampin' Up! Just announced that on November 24th. November 24th, they're going to do a one-day, 24-hour sale. 10% off most of the things in the annual catalog. So that was just announced, and I will have it posted on my website this weekend. And so I don't have a flyer or anything like that, but we do have a graphic. And so that will be November 24th. So November 24th, 24 hours. And so you want to make sure that on that day is when you get your order in. So it'll be 10% off. And there is a list of some items that are excluded, and I will also have that list for you on Brandy's Cards. Okay, so it's just a few things. I know this looks like quite a lot, but it's really, there's a lot of stuff in the catalog. But there's quite a few things that are on sale. Okay, don't forget the Curvy Celebrations is still going on. So Curvy Celebrations is through January 4th. So I can't wait to play with this. I haven't had a chance yet. It has been a crazy time. It has been so busy, but January 4th is when this ends of 2021. And it'll actually go into our new catalog. Okay, speaking of the new catalog, I'm sure you guys have been seeing some demonstrators doing some unveilings and that sort of thing. So I too have the new mini catalog, and I'm super excited about it. I can't open it and show it to you until it goes live. However, if you have made a purchase with me in the past year, you are absolutely positively on my list and you will receive this catalog. Okay, so if you've made a purchase with me, or if you're a new customer and you don't have a demonstrator and you would like catalogs, just go to Brandy's Cards and click contact, fill that information out, and I will get a set of catalogs in the mail to you. Now, I can't mail you these until we're able to purchase them. So we can't purchase them as demonstrators until December. And then they will ship out December 8th-ish. Okay, so that's what we've been told. But if for some reason you don't receive your catalog by the end of the month, let me know and I'll be sure to send you another. And as you guys know, coming up is Celebration. We all love Celebration. And so that is also coming up in January. And so January 5th is when that starts. And, for every $50 in merchandise that you purchase, you get to pick a free item out of that catalog. So it's pretty fantastic. And, I can't hardly wait to get my hands on some of that good stuff too. So, okay, well, I think, let me see here. I'm going to look down. Hi, Penny. And Anne. Hi, Anne. I'm so glad that you're in here. I'm so happy that you like the Stampin' Storage. Oh, it's so cool. Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Good evening. So thanks, guys, for joining me. So today, I'm excited. We are going to use the Snow Wonder stamp set. And, it's really, I love snowmen. And when I was kind of trying to figure out what do I want to create with to share with you today? I kept going back to the Snow Wonder stamp set. I love the vintage feel of the snowman, but I wasn't totally sure what to do with it. So I'm excited to kind of share with you just a few of the ideas that I came up with and maybe see what you guys come up with, okay? Alrighty, so I think that covers everything. Oh, I should point out one quick thing. I am offering for Brandy's Cards, if you make a purchase with me, with Brandy's Cards, I am offering a Black Friday sale. So I've been doing this the last couple of years. It's a Black Friday promotion. And so I just want to point it out just really, really quick before we get started. And I think last year we did an essential block kit, and we did some fun things, an essential writing kit, an adhesive kit. And so they went over really well. You guys really enjoyed those. You felt loved, and that is what I want, is for you to know how much you're appreciated. So this time, my idea was, how about, because a lot of you guys asked me, do you do paper shares? Well, I don't do paper shares. It's not that I don't want to do them. I'm not able to right now with all that's going on with the boys and so forth. So this was kind of my opportunity to do that for you. So there's two different collections here. So I'm really excited about this. The first collection is going to be a specialty paper kit, and I have to open it because it's like, oh, it's so beautiful. And so you actually get a couple of each. Now, some of you might say, I've seen your flyer and this one doesn't have as many pieces. Well, it's because for 2 pieces of each of these, it's almost $5 to $6, and some of them are 10 for 3. So, we had to kind of do the math. and, you know, and make it comparable, right? So these are more expensive. And so that's why there's a few less. But look at this. You've got glitter paper in here, glimmer paper, velvet paper, foil paper, brushed gold, all kinds of stuff. So it's absolutely beautiful. So if you have ever wanted a collection of those, definitely that might be something for you. They're really cool. And then the second one is designer series papers. So I believe there's 9 different designer series papers in here. And so I just went through and literally just picked 9 of my favorites, and you're gonna get, you know, one of each. So it's really pretty cool and a great way to get yourself some designer paper. Now, but watch out. What'll happen is you'll end up liking some of those, and you might have to purchase them so that before they retire in June, or I should say at the end of May. So sometimes that opens a can of worms, but it's also a lot of fun to have different papers to create with and so forth. Okay, I think I'm all set. I think I'm ready. Hi, Renee. Hello, hello. Okay, I am going to step next door, and I'm excited to share my Snow Wonder cards with you guys tonight. All right, so this is the stamp set that we're going to create with tonight. And as you guys know, I always like to start with my catalog, right? That's where I kind of start with my ideas. And so I'm going to go ahead and pull in the holiday catalog. Now I can't actually see the comments very well when I'm crafting and sharing with you. So if you have a question or you need something, Miss Amanda and Priscilla, and I know many of my other team members are in here that can help you as well. And of course, you can always leave me a comment on Brandy's cards, and I can answer that too. So here we go. Let's kind of have a look. Oh, there it is right there, page 39. All right, so I'm going to kind of have a look, make sure that we are centered. Okay, so this is the Snow Wonder bundle, and I just love this snowman. It is super cute, and of course, I always am a sucker for, you know, snowflakes or a stamp that I can create a background with. Although I didn't really use it for much of a background this time, but I like those stamp sets, or the stamps. Now, this is the card that caught my eye. I really, really liked it, but I'm going to be honest with you. I was a bit lazy and was like, okay, I don't really want to bring out my embossing powder. And so I didn't, you know, I could have used maybe a craft white to add those snowflakes, but I decided, okay, I'm going to change it up a little bit and kind of take it my own direction. So here we go. I'm going to show you the first card that I came up with, and then I'm going to show you the progression into some of the others. Alrighty, so here is the first one that I came up with. And so this one is just a fun little snowman. It's the vintagey snowman, and I colored his scarf in Coastal Cabana. And I also colored his hat with Highland Heather. And then you can see I stamped my trees here in the background. So, you know, before I started, Amanda said, well, what color did you use? I actually used Mossy Meadow. I felt like my old olive dried just a little bit lighter, and I wanted it a little bit darker. So that is Mossy Meadow. Okay, so that's kind of fun. And then of course I had to add my adhesive back snowflakes. You guys know that I am in love with those. And then some rhinestones. And I just added a few rhinestones on here. Okay, so in this stamp set, like I showed you before, there is this little snowflake stamp, and I thought, wow, that would be really cool to have, you know, to kind of have these snowflakes on the card. So here is what I decided to do to kind of take it in another direction. So it's kind of the same card, right? But this one I used Coastal Cabana, right? Coastal Cabana is your snowflakes. And then I, you know, I added my my Happy Christmas down here, but then I've got my trees here in the background. Now you'll notice on this one, I just popped that tree up a wee bit, right? With a Stampin' Dimensional. So that's going to give you that lift, maybe that you're looking for, a bit more three-dimensional. And on here, I added my adhesive back snowflakes. Now, do you guys notice the little puffy stuff in here? You guys are probably like wondering, what is that? What is that stuff? Okay, so it was actually, it's a product that we don't sell anymore. I'm so sorry. But it's called Snowfall Accent Puff Paint. This stuff is so cool, and I'm super sad that we don't sell it anymore. But it's really neat. You actually just put little dabs on your paper, and then you heat it with a heat tool, and it like puffs up, like puffy and squishy. It's really pretty cool, and it's definitely perfect for that snow type look. So I just thought that was super fun, and I was excited to show you that. So I really liked that a lot. Okay, so now that I've shown you guys that fun stuff, let's do some crafting, all right? So I'm going to bring over some of my supplies, and we're gonna get started. So, you know, it's so funny because sometimes, you know, I just was really on to the early espresso and the earthy colors. You know, I kept thinking to myself, why aren't you grabbing some traditional red or some green? And for some reason, I just really kept going back to these earthy colors. And I really, really liked it. I guess because he's vintagey, and so I thought it just worked really well. This is crumb cake, all right? And so I believe if you have, okay, let me try that again. I had, Susan is in here, and Susan had emailed me and said, how do you get the layers straight? And so I've mentioned this before. My label came off of my green glue. You know, with using the multi-purpose glue, I can actually kind of wiggle it into place. And so that's why I use that. Do I like Stampin' Seal? Yes, absolutely. But for me, I'm not good at just sticking it down and being done. I kind of like to be able to kind of move it into place because sometimes I feel like my eyes deceive me. And I think you guys can probably relate to that, can't you? I would think you can. And sometimes it's like, okay, did I really see that right? All right, so we're gonna go to Mossy Meadow. This is such a beautiful color. It's so, so nice. Although I really liked Always Artichoke. I do love some Mossy Meadow. All right, so I'm gonna ink up my trees. That's what I have here. And I'm gonna ink these guys up, and I think I'm gonna add one of my trees right about there. And doesn't that just make a beautiful tree? I love how it looks like it has snow on it. I think that is super, super cool. So now I kind of want to kind of create a little bit of scenery. So I'm gonna bring my tree line down just a wee bit. All right, now don't worry about this. I could have masked it off, but I'm gonna have a snowman there. So you're not gonna see that anyway. So that'll be okay. Okay, so now we have that, and I'm gonna add that to the top of my card. I'm super excited. You know, I've seen a couple emails like, hey, I have that stamp set. I'm excited to create with you. That is so cool. I hope that you do pull out some of your stamps and that you guys create with me. That makes my heart happy to know that I have inspired you to do that. So that is awesome. And I'd love for you to email me pictures or send me one of your cards. Wait till you see the gorgeous cards in the mail that I have to show you guys today. Okay, so here is, I stamped a couple extra trees, and we actually have in the dies here. And so these are the snow time dies, and I don't actually have them all out because I've got various things here to show you. So that's why I've kind of got them all sort of all over. But these are super easy to line up. It is not hard at all. There's nothing confusing about it. So I basically went ahead and cut out a couple of my trees, and we're gonna add some Stampin' Dimensionals behind here. All right, so here we go. We're gonna add those behind here. And so then I thought, well, what if I kind of take it down right about in there? Okay, so I think that's what we're gonna do. And then we're gonna come over here, and so my original card was a little bit different. And as I was preparing for today's video, I thought, you know what? As much as I love to tear cardstock, you know, it makes perfect snow, or kind of that, you know, kind of look with the torn cardstock. So as you can see here, this cardstock is much too big, but it was just going to be easier for me to tear. So it looks like I need to tear approximately 1/2 inch. So I am just going to, and that is what I want. Do you guys see that? That is the best. Oh, you put some glitter on that and it is like amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now sometimes I'll even take the bottom piece, and this one is a little bit big. I might have to cut it down, but sometimes I'll take this bottom piece and put it down first, and then, you know, kind of cut this one a little bit smaller and then layer the next piece. So it kind of looks like snow hills, right? But this piece is a little wide, so I'm just gonna go with my original plan, which was this one. All right, so now we need some early espresso, and I think the sentiment that we're gonna use is going to be Happy Christmas. So I like this sentiment. And so let's see, I'm gonna have to move it up just for a second, and I'm gonna stamp that right here. Okay, so I don't have a sticker on there, so it's like, oh, a little scary there for a second. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside. So now we have our sentiment. So now what we're gonna do is we are gonna jump in and grab our snowman. And the snowman, I am gonna stamp him in early espresso. It was really kind of crazy when you looked at the book, because I was like, you know, do I want to stamp him in black and memento? Do I want to, what color do I want to stamp him? And I was definitely a bit perplexed and trying to decide what I wanted to do. But doesn't that stamp beautifully? I mean, it is truly a beautiful, beautiful image, and it's early espresso. There's nothing more to it. So here is the die. You know, to hold it in place, you might use some painter's tape or some washi tape, right? So that it doesn't ruin your project, and you can pull it right off. And then of course, once you do, you get a nice die cut. Now I'm gonna stick my tree over there so I don't lose it. All right, so now that we have our snowman, how's everybody doing, Amanda?
Everybody's doing great.
Okay.
A lot of people really like the green glue as well, and quite a few people have told you congratulations on all of your accomplishments.
Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate that, and I'm so grateful that y'all are here. And you know, I couldn't have accomplished what I have without the love and support of y'all. So thank you for being here and for enjoying Stampin' Up! And crafting as much as I do. So thank you for that. All right, so here, let me show you this. You know, this little snowman, so there are a couple different things. I actually grabbed my Stampin' Blends, and I tried to color his scarf with the balmy blue. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't much care for it. I felt like, I don't know why, but I felt like it looked a little muddled. So I went and grabbed a Coastal Cabana. I felt like it looked a little bit brighter. And so I took my Coastal Cabana Stampin' Right marker, and I just sort of colored it real quickly. Now you don't want to dig on it because, I mean, it is a water-based ink too, and you don't want it to smear, right? So just kind of real quickly, and I kind of liked the light and darks, and so by doing it quickly like that, I was able to achieve that look. Now, it's funny because I tried both and I went back and forth, and so for his hat, I went and I grabbed my Calypso Coral. And I started with the light Calypso Coral, and I just kind of added the color. And then I thought, okay, he looks like he's going to the beach. He might be, no, maybe not the beach, but he definitely was a little bright for me. So then I went ahead and grabbed my darker one to kind of just, you know, add a bit more depth to it and a bit more color. So, you know, it was a little bit of a light hat. And then, you know, you can kind of do your little circles. And so that's cute. I like that. All right. And so then, you know, if you have the Stampin' Right markers, you could certainly, you could certainly color your holly with them. Because I kind of was onto my blends, that's sort of what I'm using. This is Cherry Cobbler. And so I'm just going to touch my berries right here on his hat, or her hat. He or she, whatever you'd like. Then I have Granny Apple Green. I wanted a brighter color green. And so the Granny Apple Green is just kind of a nice bright green. And I thought it looked really nice, kind of popped off there. Now I went back and forth with his nose, his carrot nose, because you can't really, I don't know, you can't really tell it when I color it anyway. But for good measure, I feel like if you have to color it, you gotta color his nose. All right, so there you go. We've got that done. And let's see, I'm gonna put all these markers aside. And what I'm gonna do now is I have also stamped one of the wreaths. And so I kept thinking, okay, well, I want to incorporate that in my card, and how am I going to do that? And so what I ended up doing is coloring it with my blends again. So I guess I needed my markers, so I need to bring those guys back. So I have still again the cherry cobbler, and you know, let's start out with the light one. It's kind of like, well, I've made this reference before, cooking. You know, if you just, you know, if you need a little bit of sugar and then you just go and you put a lot of seasoning or a lot of sugar, well, then you've done too much. So if we start light, we can always add more, right? We can always add more color. So that's just a good, you know, point of reference. And so here's the dark cherry cobbler, and I'm just kind of reinforcing some of these lines that are already in the bow. You guys see that? So just reinforcing some of those lines. You could certainly go and kind of swirled if you want. And I also wanted, when you look at this wreath, it's kind of a big green wreath, but I wanted some berries in there. So, you know, I broke the rules and made my own berries. I mean, who knows, right? I mean, you know, other than Stampin' Up, knowing what they intended, I'm not sure anybody really knows. So I kind of, sort of made my own berries. That's what I did. Because, you know, that's how I roll. And so here is Granny Apple Green. And so I'm going to color my wreath with Granny Apple Green. And so this is the light Granny Apple Green. And I'm just kind of making my way through here. Oh my goodness, I can't hardly wait to share one of my cards with you. Oh my goodness. I just started thinking about it, and I've got a super fun idea for this coming spring. Holy moly. That's what happens to me in the middle of the night. Does that happen to you guys? You're like thinking something, and then all of a sudden your mind is like, oh my gosh, I can't hardly wait to wake up and craft and do this or do that. Yeah, that's what happens. My husband's like, hello, are you listening? Oh yeah, I'm listening. Okay, so here we go. I am just kind of, I have the dark Granny Apple Green, and I'm just kind of adding a bit of color. Now, there's really nothing to blend here. So, you know, I am just adding a bit of color here and there, but it just makes a beautiful, beautiful wreath, doesn't it? All right, and so in the Stampin' Up, you know, here in the dies, let me pull this out here. This one right here is pretty nice, actually. Stampin' Up went ahead and put like a little pointer here on the top. That's to kind of, you know, to show you that it goes right at the top of the wreath, and it fits perfectly right there. So it's kind of like the same as marking it with a marker or, you know, fingernail polish or that sort of thing. You know, but it's nice because this is obviously built on there, and you can see exactly where that's supposed to be. And so then once you die cut it out, and let's see here, I should have one that I cut out, hopefully. Let's see. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. So once you cut it out, then you have your wreath. Okay. All right. So I think that I'm ready to put this guy together for you guys. All right. So we need some, I think I'm going to put him right there. So one thing to keep in mind is he's actually going to cover this baby tree, right? So you don't want any Stampin' Dimensionals, otherwise he's going to be kind of cattywamped. And so we want to put some adhesive, some liquid adhesive on the tree, but then the Stampin' Dimensionals are going to have to go on that side of his body because he's being supported by the tree. So here we go. We're going to put a little bit of that there so that he stands nice and good there. And let's see, I'm going to kind of get an idea, definitely up here by his head. And it looks like it's this side of his body that I need to add those to. Just like that. Okay, cool. So we're going to take off our backings here, and we're going to go ahead and add him right there. Doesn't he just look like he is just out in the trees? I love it. I love it. What did I get on there? I got me a sploogie already. I was looking to see if I had my little eraser, but I guess I don't. Okay, that's okay. So I have my sentiment. Now you notice he is raised up, so I'm going to need to, you know, raise up my my sentiment as well. And should we cut it down a little bit, or do you guys like it like that? I actually think that's pretty cool. Although if we give him a wreath, oh, that's really cool. Well, let's just go for it, right? Let's just go for it. And so I'm going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals right here behind his. Although, did you see, I just went quick for those dimensionals, and they might be too high because we don't want him on my snowman because he's already tall. So we might have to just kind of pull him up, and might just have to abort that one and start anew. Here we go. Perfect. Okay. So then I'm going to add that right there. Oh, that's so cool. Yes, I get so excited. All right, so that one looks like maybe a little sploogie or something. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So now I have a wreath, and I'm going to add that wreath right here. And I'm probably going to put two Stampin' Dimensionals right there behind the wreath. And I kind of want it to kind of, you know, be like touching his body, but in a sense it's in his hand and he's holding the wreath. All right, so we're well on our way. So the next thing I thought was I want some embellishment or some snow or snowflake. So I went and I pulled the So Many Snowflake dies. And I just think these are beautiful. And I know that some of you have been working with them as well. And I just went ahead and thought, okay, I'm just gonna die cut a bunch of these snowflakes in white, since it's a, you know, a really pretty white card, and just kind of see which one I like best, really. You know, and what I landed on was I felt like this guy may have been a bit big. So I kind of said, all right, well, the smaller one probably looks perfect there, doesn't it? So that's the one that I ended up going with. And you know, you could put a mini glue dot behind it, but I feel like the mini glue dot is a little bit big. So I just did a dot of liquid adhesive, or you could, you know, if you're a subscriber to Paper Pumpkin, the little mini glue dots in there are perfect. They're quite a bit smaller than the ones that we sell. So they're really, really nice for this type of thing. Okay, so then I was trying to decide the embellishment, and these frosted epoxy, clear epoxy droplets are super cool. So I couldn't decide if I wanted frosted or the clear, but I am quite a sucker for these like really shiny, clear, liquidy looking ones. You know, they're really cool. So that is what I added on to my snowman. And so I'm going to set those aside. Okay, so now I thought, okay, well, how about we add some of our adhesive back snowflakes. These are the bomb. Do you guys like these? I love these snowflakes. They are the best. They're so nice. And with the little adhesive on the back, they come up perfect and they stick down nicely. They are just awesome, awesome, awesome. And I hope and I pray that they make it to our new catalog in June. I am hoping, because they are so nice. And so then I thought, well, maybe one more to kind of finish right about in here. It's just kind of something a little extra. Now, one thing that you can do that I haven't done yet is, you know, you can embellish the inside of your card. Well, do you guys like this card? I want to hear some comments. I wonder if you guys like this one. If you do, I would love for you to hit the like button and help me grow my channel and help me share. So let me know. But I just thought that was fun. And, you know, one fun thing that you can do is you can basically take And you know, you need a white, right, so that you can write on your card. So right now we have early espresso in there, so that is kind of a problem. So I have crumb cake, and we're going to put a little crumb cake, and so liquid glue, very, very small bits. And that's what I do, is I put it on here, and because it's liquid glue, I can maneuver it with my hands or my fingers. And so you guys will see me do that a lot. I am not very good with sticking it down and being stuck. I kind of need that opportunity to wiggle it into place, and so that's why it works best for me. So you need to do what works best for you though. If you like the other, well then you absolutely should use it. So then there's a snowflake. We could put a snowflake in here and embellish that too if we wanted to. So here you go. Let's just have a look real quick. This is where I started. This is where I kind of moved to, and I started to kind of play with the snowflakes. And I added some puff paint, which I thought was kind of a fun, different addition. And then over here, you know, we added the wreath to kind of pull it in a little bit more together. I tore the edge here, and then we added the snowflake embellishment. So that was just kind of a fun, you know, a fun way to kind of do that. All right. Okay, so let me set those aside and show you kind of where I went after that. All right, so I'm going to put these guys aside here, and I got to reach all the way across my table. Sorry about that. So hang tight with me here. Okay, so the next card, I absolutely love this Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper. And Jacqueline, I think I saw you in here, and I'm so glad that you got your paper today. It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? It's so much fun. It really is. It's just so much fun. And so let me see. I went through here, and I was just kind of playing with these colors and trying to figure out what I really liked. And I landed on this gray one right here. I thought it was really cool. When I added the red, it popped so nice. And honestly, it sort of came from when I fanned it all out. This is actually the order of the cardstock. And I saw the red and I thought, oh wow, that is super cool. Now Dylan says it kind of looks like, you know, some fun pajamas for Christmas. So I would have to agree with him. So here is the card that I came up with. And so the fun thing about this card is I used some of the red velvet. So that is in the my Black Friday promotional gift. So that red velvet paper. And I stamped my snowman in basic gray. And then I die cut him out. And I only colored his little holly and berries. Added some jewel rhinestones here to kind of embellish him a little bit further. And, you know, and then I stamped a sentiment on the inside. And I reversed the color. So here, it's predominantly the basic gray with the splash of red. And then in here, I did the red and I, you know, added my white so that I could write my sentiment. So now you guys have seen me do this before, so I'm not going to show you this today, but I stamped my Happy Christmas, and then I just kind of cut around it. So that is not die cut. That is hand cut. There's no particular way. Just kind of have fun with it. Makes it kind of whimsical, kind of fun. All right. So then from there, let me set that aside. Okay. So then from there, I went and I grabbed the new Classic Christmas. And I was looking at this designer series paper, and it's absolutely beautiful. Let me just start with that. I love designer series paper, but you know, it's so funny. I was in a earthy type of mood, and I get in these moods. And so I decided that, you know, I really liked the stars a lot, but I kept looking at the crumb cake because I really liked the combination, the color combination that I had working. So what I did is I then pulled out, and I believe it's the dotted one. Let's see here, where is it? It's in here somewhere. I was having fun, so I may have mixed them all up. But anyway, so then I pulled out the dotted piece, and let me show you what I came up with. All right, so this one is fun too. So this one, I took one of my snowflake embellishments and kind of made it on her hat, kind of like a little fun embellishment. You could even put a jewel rhinestone on there too to kind of give her some added, you know, some added sophistication, if you will. And then I added down here, this is your designer paper from Classic Christmas. And I colored the wreath, cut it out, die cut it out. And then this is also a die that is in the framelits, the snow die framelits. So this is what it looks like. These are always really nice to have to kind of cut out your sentiments. So I stamped it and then I die cut it with that. Now I want to show you guys something because I was quite perplexed and I'm wondering if maybe y'all were too. Let me show you this. I have to kind of pull my thing back in here. Okay, so what I'm going to show you is, here is the Snow Time dies, right? Do you guys see those? All right, so that's the Snow Time dies, and I was kind of looking at this die set, and I've kind of got stuff all over here, but there is 7 dies in this set. And it's really interesting because these 2 boxes right here are absolutely not in this set. And so I kept looking and I kept looking and I'm like, what in the world am I missing here? What are those 2 boxes? Okay, so the bottom line is it's really bad photography, which, you know, Stampin' Up! Is really good photography, but that's a really bad picture. And so in this die, in this Snow Time dies are these 2 dies right here. And so this one comes with, it's got 7, right? 7 dies. And I took 2 off so I can put that one back on. So that would leave me what? 5, right? And so here is 6, 7. How I know that is because it says right here, 7 dies in this set. They're certainly not a box. They are these, okay? So this is what I want to show you because I felt like, you know, they're just really pretty, but you really couldn't tell unless you had it. So they are to emboss. They don't actually cut the cardstock. Can you guys see that? So they just kind of add a nice little impression in the cardstock is what those are. And so you can kind of do a fun border. You could run it through a second time and, you know, change it so that you get the border on both sides. But that is what that is. And so Stampin' Up! This square is actually a picture of these that are embossed. You just can't see them, okay? So you're not getting any squares. You're actually getting these really pretty, you know, framelits that emboss, but they don't cut out the cardstock, okay? So that's what that is. All right. So I just wanted to show you that because I couldn't figure it out and I had to call Stampin' Up! And say, okay, what am I missing? What am I missing? Okay, so let's see, where did I go from here? All right, so then up next, I thought, well, let's go with some blues. Looks like I've got I got this new sweater on and it definitely seems to be shedding. Okay, so then I decided I'm gonna keep the same theme because I really like my snowman and I really like the theme that I'm working with, but I was kind of wanting to go more blue. So pretty much the same thing that you guys saw before. You know, I did kind of the hills in the background, but then I thought, oh yeah, let's try the new snow embossing folder, the new snowflakes. And so check that out. Isn't that just beautiful? I wish that I would have put this on my card. I didn't, but now that I've embossed it, I'm going to absolutely do it on the next one for sure. But I'm excited to show you this one. So this one I decided, okay, well, I'm going to stamp my snowman in Night of Navy. And then I layered it up Night of Navy and I embossed the white paper with the snowflake embossing folder. But then, you know, gosh, can you see how beautiful that would be if that was like behind him? It would be so pretty. I didn't do that this time, but I'm absolutely going to do that for sure. Now this one, I really liked the tone on tone, so I didn't really, I didn't get too crazy with it. I liked it, so I left it that way. You could certainly add more snowflakes on here. You could add some glitter on here to make some sparkle. You could even change him up, you know, but I just, after I stamped a bunch of these guys, and I sort of just played with them and put them on here, you know, and I really liked the tone on tone a bit better. It's kind of fun, right? So something a little bit different. All right, so what do you guys think so far? You guys like them? I'm gonna check over at the comments. Hi, Patricia and Susan. I'm so glad that you're on here. Yes, and Angie, thank you guys for being here with me tonight.
A lot of people couldn't figure out the snowflake, so it's a good thing you called. They're very appreciative that you shared.
Super cool. Well, yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, I had no idea. So it wasn't just you guys, you know, we were stumped too. So that's good. We got that figured out. All right, so the next thing that I've got here is, are you ready? Dun, 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 some shimmery white embossing paste, some ooey gooey. So I have my, you know, some of my palettes here, you know, my tools, and I'm really excited. So in the spring, I think I might do a series on embossing, this embossing paste. I am super excited, and I was telling Amanda that I have like a gazillion ideas going through my head, and I think it would be really fun to share these with you. So that is like totally on my radar, and I'm super excited about it. So I'm gonna grab some grid paper. I'm gonna grab some grid paper here, and I'm gonna open up my embossing paste. Now remember, the embossing paste comes in shimmery white, or you can get it in just white. Oops, looks like I got a little piece in there. So you can get it in shimmery white or just white. And then of course you can buy yourself some tools as well. These are really great to kind of spread things around and move it around. Now today I just wanted to create an illusion of snow. And so you know, I'm not gonna pull in any templates or anything like that. I'm just gonna jump in and go for it. So I have some balmy blue cardstock, and I have my embossing paste, which by the way, if you've not done this, it is so much fun. And I am just gonna kind of add it to my cardstock really, and just kind of push it around and have fun with it. You definitely wanna have something down, either a paper towel or, you know, some grid paper or something to kind of protect your surface. Now we do have templates, right? And so I'll show you guys some of, you know, some of those projects too here soon. But right now, we're just keeping it simple, man. We're making snow. And this is that glittery one, so it's really, really cool. Now this stuff takes about 3 to 5 minutes to dry, and it really honestly depends on the humidity in your area. So if you live in a really high humid area, it might take longer to dry. But otherwise, it actually dries pretty quickly. Now, some of you might be saying, well, it's so intimidating. I don't know what to do with it. I mean, I'm just smearing it on right now. That is it. And it is so fun. I mean, it's like, I just want to keep playing with it. But that's for another time. I'm not going to keep going. You know, if you want to, like, let's say, okay, so to clean this, I usually have a soapy pan of hot water, and I just put it in there and then take a paper towel to clean it. If it does dry on your palette, it's not the end of the world. Just let it soak in some soapy hot water, okay? So that's what I would do. Now I have a heat tool here, and you know, I find that when you heat it, it does actually get a little bit puffier, I think, but it does dry it nicely. So you do have that option. But because of, you know, TV and being able to prepare it ahead of time, let me find a spot here to set that. Here is a dry one. Oh, that is so cool. I don't know if you can see that shimmer, but that is like so much fun. And it has a texture to it. It's raised. It kind of has that snowy feel. So let's see what we can put together. All right. So I have Night of Navy, and we're going to kind of keep it fairly simple and just kind of like what we did, you know, for the other blue card. So I have some Whisper White. That's going to be my matte piece that I'm going to layer on top of. So there's that piece right there. And then I have my Balmy Blue, and that's going to go just like that. And that piece is going to layer here on top. Oh, doesn't that look snowy? It looks like snow drifts, sort of. That's what I'm gonna go with. I think so. My husband's like, you just, see things that I'm not so sure. No, just kidding. It's all good. Alrighty, so I have my chamois here, which has seen better days. And I am gonna clean off my snowman. I love my simple chamois here. Really fantastic. And so now I've got that clean, and I'm gonna grab my Night of Navy stamp pad. So let me get that, it's right over here. So I'm gonna go with Night of Navy, and we're gonna stamp our snowman in Night of Navy. And so actually we wanna stamp him on scrap paper, okay? So that is definitely what you're gonna wanna do. And so he's beautiful, absolutely pretty. So it might be kind of hard through the camera to kind of see the difference in the color tone, but it's definitely different once it dries than the early espresso for sure. Okay, and so then when you're done and you die cut him out, that's what you get. All right, so now what we're gonna do is I have another piece here, and we're just gonna add some Stampin' Dimensionals. You don't want it to be saggy in the middle, so make sure that you put your Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm gonna go a little heavy on them here. So just gonna kind of put those around. Boy, I love snowmen. Absolutely love snowmen. And I remember making snowmen in Michigan when, like, oh my gosh, we had so much snow. It's crazy, crazy. Oh my goodness gracious alive. I never stamped my sentiment. Did you guys see that? Did you catch that? Rats. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and just cut another piece and glue it right on top. That's what I do is, if you forget it, we'll just glue it right on top, right? So that looks like that's 4 by 3. So let me just cut that piece. So we have, let's see, 3. That's why I always keep my trimmer here handy, because you just never know when you're gonna need it. Okay, so looks like I need to cut about 1/4 of an inch off of that. Okay, so there we go, perfect. All right, so I went ahead and I pulled this stamp set, which I can't hardly wait to play with, Dove of Hope. It is just a beauty. And so I grabbed the Peace, Joy, and Love. And so I grabbed that and I thought, okay, well, I am going to use Night of Navy, and I'm going to stamp Peace, Joy, and Love. And that's going to be right here at the bottom. Okay. Peace, Joy, and Love. Oh, so pretty. So nice. Okay. So then I'm going to put that aside. And what we're going to do is we're just going to glue it to the top. I would have, if I remember, I would have stamped it first, but I got a little ahead of myself. So it's okay. We're just going to go ahead and glue it right there to the top. Nobody will know the difference. If anything, it's a bit more sturdy because now it's got 2 cardstocks. We like that. Okay, so now I have my snowman, and I'm going to add my Stampin' Dimensionals behind him, and just kind of put some Stampin' Dimensionals, get him so he pops up, and I'm going to add him right here. See, he's coming together. Doesn't it look pretty? Oh my goodness, I just think it's so pretty. And so then what I did is, just kind of like before, is I die cut all those snowflakes, and I thought, I would love to kind of give him just a little bit of a snowflake or something next to him that just kind of says, I am in the snow, right? So, you can layer a couple snowflakes if you want them thicker. It's entirely up to you. And then I want to know what gem you guys think you would put on this guy. Now remember, the cardstock is Balmy Blue and Night of Navy. So, what gem should we use? Any suggestions out there? So we used the, we used the snowflakes, right? The adhesive back snowflakes. I've showed you the jewel rhinestones, and we've also used the frosted and clear epoxy droplets, but we haven't used the beautiful blue gems. Did anybody guess that? So we haven't used these beautiful blue gems that match perfectly. So I pulled those out and was like, oh yeah, that is awesome. Who needs scissors when your fingers got glue on it, right? It works, right? Okay, there we go. Okay, so that is just another fun card that you guys can make. And in here, I would glue a piece of the Balmy Blue, and then I would add a piece of Whisper White and layer that down. Now, all of these layers are about 1/4 of an inch down, right? So the white piece is going to be 4 and 5 1/4. The next piece is 3 3/4 by 5. And so I just quarter it, a size down. And you can also add your snowflake once you put your white piece in here. I actually cut that piece. That's why I don't have it available to show you. But you can add your snowflake in there. You could add another gem if you wanted to. So let's have a look and see some of the different cards and the progression of how I put some of these together. Because when you see them next to each other, it's like, wow, it's really pretty cool how different they look. I mean, the different looks that you can get, just by kind of changing up the colors and, changing things up just a wee bit. So there you go. So I love, this is plaid tidings with the velvet, and this is some embossing paste, and we went to Night of Navy, Peace, Joy, and Love. And then, of course, this is pretty simple and classic. And then I added the snowflakes over here. Those are some, oh, you know what? This guy didn't make it in the mix. I don't know if there's room for him. And so this one is also pretty simple. Sometimes when you're making multiples or making quite a lot, it's nice to have something that you can kind of reproduce quite quickly, but still makes a nice impact. I love this one. I feel like this one's really clean and simple, but I really like his hat and how we added the wreath, and I really love the tree popped up because it kind of feels like a scene. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then of course, this one with your, your 2 designer series paper. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this card. I have to say at first, it was like, okay, what am I going to do with him? I was just trying to kind of come up with some ideas, and I hope that you like what I came up with. It was a lot of fun, for sure. So Sue, hi Sue. It's good that you're in here. So happy that you're here. All right. So I'm getting the cue from my, my film crew over there from Dylan. Dylan's actually filming. And so just so you guys know, he didn't win his tournament, but he did really, really good. And he assisted in some, shots on the goal. And so he's doing really, really good. And he just really appreciates all of the comments and the shout outs for good luck on his tournament. So we have another soccer game tomorrow. So that's cool. So we're excited about that. All right. So I'm going to kind of look down at some comments. And so Holly, you like the snowman. Yay! That makes my heart happy. It's such an easy snowman, really. You can stamp him. I love the early espresso, but then of course the Night of Navy is nice. I didn't try some of the other colors, but I'm sure that you could really kind of get creative with that. And Sandy says she likes the one holding the wreath. I would have to agree with that. I like that one too. Hi Thelma, I'm so glad that you guys got your products. I'm so happy, and I got a really cool card from Susan that I can't wait to show everybody. So, well, let's see here. I am going to push this aside. And so now is one of my favorite times. It's our cards in the mail. It's when you guys send me your cards and I get ideas and inspiration from you. And then I can share it to all of you and hopefully inspire you with some of these fantastic ideas too. So let me grab those cards and let's see here. Okay. All right. So the first one is from Kat. This is super cute. Thanks for being marvelous. Oh, how cool is that? So sweet. Such a cute card. I love this square card. I don't do those enough, but that is so much fun. And Kat has this really cool way of, like, when she signs off her email, she makes a cat like face out of lines and colons, and it is so cool. As a matter of fact, Amanda is a cat lover, and I'm like, Amanda, you have to check this out. It's so cool. So thank you for that adorable card. I love it. Very, very pretty. Very nice. Okay, so this one is really cool. This one was from Sylvia, and this was a Halloween snow. I think are they called waterfall cards? It was a long time ago when I did one, but check this out. Oh, how cool is that? And so it does, Sylvia left me a note that says, okay, it gets a little stuck on the way back in. Well, that's not a big deal. I think it's because the circle kind of catches. And so she was like, please tell me why it doesn't go back in very well. So we'll work on that. We'll work on that. But this was so cute. I couldn't wait to share. Absolutely adorable and very clever. Okay, Susan, so this is so fun. Susan sent me this fun little ladybug card. How cute is that? That is precious. And so she made her own little ladybugs, and you know, she put some eyeballs on there, and they're just really, really cute. So thank you, Thelma, and thank you, Susan, for that beautiful card. Now here's another very pretty card, and this card means a lot to me. I hold it really dear to my heart because it's from Grandma Gertie, and she knows I like sparkles, and so it's just really fun and sparkly. And so this one is from Gertie, so that's pretty cute, pretty cool. All right, so let's see who's next. This one's from Donna, and look at this beautiful poinsettia. Absolutely beautiful. Such a beautiful card, Donna. And so this one she just sent me just recently. And may the magic and wonder bloom this holiday. What a perfect sentiment for the inside of that card. Absolutely stunning. You did a beautiful job. So this one is from one of my team members, Julie. Look at that. Oh, wow. So that is like the gold foil. Look how pretty that is. Can you guys see the shimmer as I turn it? It's really, really pretty, the shine. So that is just such a lovely card. I think that Fern Suite is one of my favorites. All right, and so this one is from Gail. And look how beautiful that is. So pretty. And so I believe, I could be wrong, but I think this is Seaside Spray. It's so pretty, and so is the ribbon, and how nice it coordinates with the silver foil. Just so pretty, and just a really nice touch on the inside too. So thank you, Gail, for this beautiful card. Absolutely love it. And then I also have Let Your Faith Be Bigger Than Your Fear. And this one is from Jackie, which, Jackie, I think you're in here with us today, aren't you? If you are, thank you for this beautiful card. I love getting y'all's cards. So pretty. And I love that message too. Okay, so here's another one from Donna. And check this one out. This one is His Love Never Fails. And it's really neat how she did it. And it kind of opens up at the top and then opens up on the inside. So very clever, very, very pretty. She, it's actually the, what is that? The poinsettia, I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's like that poinsettia felt type specialty paper. It's very, very pretty. Very pretty. So thank you, Donna, for that. And the last one that I have here to show you today is from Luann. And she always sends me the most beautiful Thanksgiving notes. And so I just really appreciate them and always look forward to getting your note, Luann. So thank you for this. So pretty. And I like the triangles. That is super fun. I haven't used those yet, but they look like they're just so much fun. And a little bit of gobble gobble, which Thanksgiving is coming up next week. Can you guys believe that? I am super, super excited. Dylan's over here doing the happy dance. Did you want to come say hi? Say hi to everybody. Oh, who's that?
Messi.
Messi? Go Messi. So Dylan's a big fan of Messi. That's right. So
you good luck in your tournament.
Everybody says good luck, Dylanator. So he's really excited. So we'll spend a portion of tomorrow at the soccer field, and then when we come home, we have a cul-de-sac soccer game. So it's a soccer day, but it's a lot of fun. So we really, really enjoy that. So I'm just so excited that y'all were here with me today. I hope that I've inspired you. I want to say how much I appreciate you and I appreciate your business. So thank you so much for selecting me as your demonstrator and for enjoying my videos and my tutorials. I couldn't do what I do without your love and support. So from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you. Don't forget to go over and leave a comment on my my craft room tour video. I'm excited to make some Crafters Christmas morning extra special with a new cut emboss machine, as well as a couple of gift certificates from Stampin' Storage. And there might be a couple extra surprises in there because that's what I love to do, is I love to